So hello and welcome to another episode of Steam's Four Wheels. It's been a little while since I last posted a video on here and that is purely because of one reason, that's called life. Life unfortunately getting in the way. However, this week I'm trying something new, I'm trying something different. I'm doing something called a tea and talk video. Talk spelt as in the sort of automobile engine related talk as opposed to talk as in language talk. I'm trying to be a bit clever there, whether it's going to work out I'm not too sure. But this episode, this is the first one of this series, and it's basically called The Gift That Keeps On Giving. And one of the reasons it's called that anyway, is because this week I've tested positive for COVID. Now obviously that's a little bit of a blow, but yeah, it actually meant that I've been able to actually spend a bit of time just resting up and taking almost a step out of life almost, and I've obviously been able to do a couple of videos as well, filming this week, which has been good. Now, obviously, I'm very grateful. It sucks that I've got COVID. I'm tested positive and everything. To stay at home and isolate and all that. I'm sort of feel myself. I feel actually quite lucky in a way that actually I'm not one of the ones that are in hospital. I'm not someone that's sadly died from COVID. Lots of people have died from COVID. I'm fully vaccinated. I've had my booster. I've done anything else I can to protect myself. However, I did think it was only a question of time, really. Before I got it, you know, so it is what it is. I've had one bad afternoon where I had to go to bed and I basically was lying in bed sort of going in and out of sleep, and that was about it. I felt better by the evening of that day, so I consider myself quite lucky. I'm also looking a tiny bit scruffy at the moment because I've decided for no real reason not to have a shave until I get over COVID, so we'll see how long it takes me to get over it and how much of a sort of beard it's not really a beard or anything at the moment. It's just a bit of, I just look like I need a bit of a shave, to be honest. So we'll see how that goes. So I want to get into the main part of this episode, and I want to talk about another gift that keeps on giving, and thankfully it's slightly more of a cheerful topic to talk about, and that is car shows. Now, for reasons that obviously I'm self-isolating at the moment, there haven't been many car shows the last couple of years. Only really sort of end of last year that it sort of started kicking off again, that we started to have more car shows back again, which is fantastic. So this episode I'm just really going to go for a few of the car shows that I'm hopefully going to this year. I was meant to be going to the NEC Classic Car Show, the restoration show happening there this weekend, but for obvious reasons I couldn't go to that. But we'll go through a few of the car shows that I'm going to this year, a few that I'm really looking forward to. I'll put some pictures in as well, I'm talking about on the show what they're like as well, in case you might want to go to them as well. So I've had to bring up my calendar for this because I cannot remember anything for Toffee. So that's why I have everything written down in one diary. Thankfully, this being a digital diary, I'm able to share it between my computer and also my iPhone, which is fantastic. It shares between the two. So not much else going on in March at the moment, so I wanted to jump straight in. I'm going to go into April now. The first meet that I'm going to is one that I'm actually organising with the Mercedes-Benz Club, and this is a SLK and SLC club meet at Cafe and Machine, which you've probably heard of. It's a pub restaurant over in sort of Stratford up an Avon way, and we're doing an evening there. Now, if you want to book up to that, that is fantastic. Let me know. I was obviously open to club members, also non-club members as well. We are hopefully going to be there from like 5 till 10. It's £10 which is per car, so it doesn't matter. Obviously, SLK is only fit 2 people anyway, but it is chargeable £10 per car, regardless of how many people are in that car, a maximum of 2. However, you do get 50% of a food and drink spend, so depending on how much you eat and drink, you might actually make your money back on that. Plus, also, you are getting your parking for the evening as well and thrown in as well. Obviously, Cafe and Machine, great place to be into. I haven't been there for good nearly 3 years now, so I'm really excited to go back. It's one of the places I've been sort of umming and ahhing about going back and just getting the time to go there. And I finally said, well, why don't I do a meet there? Why not actually organise this show there? So we're doing a Tuesday night. That's going to be a great night. Hopefully the weather will be nice on that night as well. You do need to book on a separate link, which again, if you're interested in coming along to that meet, please do drop me a message and I'll give you all the details and the booking link for that as well. Now on that weekend there is going to be the Two Coasts anniversary drive for the 70th anniversary of the Mercedes-Benz Club. Now I believe the plan is to go and start down in Blackpool Sands, which is down in Devon. It's just sort of down the coast from sort of Dartmouth rather area, And then we're driving up through Dartmouth and Exmoor, and then I believe we're going somewhere, the name escapes me, where we're going to on the North Devon coast. So that's going to be a really great drive. It's 2 coasts, 2 moors. What can you do? Hopefully again that'll be nice weather. And that date is the 24th of April. Yes, that's right, April. I don't know what month I'm thinking of there, but yes, April is a Sunday. We're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting out in the SLK a bit more this year. Now, the next weekend, which is going to be the 30th of April through to the bank holiday, which is Monday, the 2nd of May, is going to be the Stratford Festival Motoring. This is held in Stratford upon Avon. I've been there probably about 4 or 5 times now. I originally went with our Bathing, went with the Bath at least sort of 3 times. I've been with the SLK a couple of times as well. Fantastic show. You can go there and park up on the streets. They actually close down all the streets in Stratford upon Avon town centre, and you can park up there. And they also do a drive in the morning. The drive itself is optional, and I don't know what the format is this year for the drive, but in previous years they've done a sort of shorter route which is sort of 30 miles, and they've also done longer which is about sort of 50-60 mile. So I'm not too sure what the format is this year. I'm going to have to go and have a look at it and get booked up for it. I'm thinking I'm going to go for the Sunday. Normally it's fairly even. I've been on both days before now. I've done Sunday, Monday, but this year they are doing a Saturday as well, which is new, so that's really good, really positive that they're doing stuff and actually extending it out as well. Really good show. Again, you can watch them go out for a drive in the morning. They normally start over in Stratford upon Avon Leisure Centre, at the back of the leisure centre, and then everyone drives out and they go into their drive, and then they come back probably a couple of hours later, and you get parked up in one of the streets, which is fantastic to see that you can actually park up in Stratford on these streets that you wouldn't normally get to park up on. Last time I parked up and I was up facing Shakespeare's birthplace, so that's a little bit different actually. Yeah, to be sat there looking at Shakespeare's birthplace and the drivers at the SLK was just really just good and fun memories. Anyway, it's a good show. I'm definitely getting booked up to that one for this year. Now, on the following Sunday, which is Sunday the 8th of May, it's going to be the Mercedes-Benz Club SL and SLK Day. And as I'm the model register captain for the SLK, it'd be rude for me not to go really to this event. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I haven't been to one before. I think there's been a couple where I've been a club member, and I haven't had it's either been clashing with something else I've done or whatever. I haven't had the chance to go. This year I've said, right, I really want to go to this one, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's over in Hatton Country Rail, which is over sort of Kenilworth Way-ish, that Warwickshire area. It's not too far for me to travel up to, and yeah, it should be a good day. Hopefully there's a lot of SLs, a lot of SLKs. If you're a fan of convertible Mercs, I think you'll be in for a good day. On Saturday the 28th of May, there's going to be another anniversary drive for the North Region Mercedes-Benz Club, which is going to be a really good drive out, going up to the Great British Motoring Experience, which I forget where that is. I think it's Peak District Way area. Again, I'm not too sure, a little bit further up north for me. Should be a good day. I've wanted to go there. That museum looks actually quite interesting, all about British cars. I've been wanting to go there ever since it opened up. I think last year they opened up. It's quite a new museum. I haven't yet had the chance to go, so I thought fantastic, let's go there and just do a nice drive out in the Peak District and then end up at the museum and spend a few hours looking around there. Fantastic. Moving on to June, and on the 19th of June, which is Sunday, Mercedes-Benz Club, we're doing our little trip out to Black Fox Sands, which is over in Wales. I did a little video of that, which I'll make sure is included out in the card above, or I'll put it in the description somewhere. I'll put it in there. And a great day out. This year we're focusing more on actually just meeting up, just as sort of a social event really, as friends. You know, part of the reason I love being part of the Mercedes-Benz Club is not just about the car, it's actually about the people. It's actually nice to spend some time on the beach, just talking to people and just having a good time, having a laugh and just enjoying ourselves. So that's on Sunday the 19th of June. So moving on to July, already into July, I don't know quite where this is going. So moving on already into July, the first weekend in July is Cars in the Park in Lichfield, which is sort of North Staffordshire. Fantastic event. I've been going to this for several years and I've been displaying my cars for quite a few years as well there. Fantastic show. It's basically a park with a great big open green area, and they basically stuff it full of cars. Now that's, for me, is my idea of heaven. So the next car show is going to be the Club Concourse, which is going to be held down in the British Motor Museum down in Gaydon. I'm really looking forward to that event. I've only been to one Club Concourse so far, and it was a really enjoyable day, and hopefully again it'll be a nice enjoyable day this year as well. I don't take part in the concourse competition myself. Personally, I'm one of the, I believe a car should be driven, and unfortunately cars that aren't driven, I'd like to do a few thousand miles in my cars every year, at least. I don't know, I always pick up stone chips and marks. It's part of driving, unfortunately. I'm not one for keeping up to a concourse standard because I don't believe a car is driven. Next day I'm heading back down to Devon, which is going to be Sunday the 10th, and I'm at the Historic Vehicle Gathering, which I think is one of the biggest sort of car shows down in the southwest. It's based at Powderham Castle, which is near Starcross, which is about 20 minutes away from Exeter, as you head down the coast towards Dawlish and Teignmouth. Really good event. I've heard lots of good things, but I've never actually been. So it was one I was booked to go up in 2020, never went. Didn't happen last year. So this year I'm determined to go to that show. And again, one of the biggest shows in the southwest. Heard so many good things about it. I just really can't wait to go down there. So moving on into August, we have on the 21st of August we have the Cotswold one, which is again a Mercedes-Benz Club event, which is basically a drive around the Cotswold. Now, I've done this, we always try and do this every year, and we do this generally in different parts of the Cotswold. I think this year we're starting sort of Broadway, which is sort of Worcestershire part of the Cotswolds, and then we're heading down to, I think going down to sort of Stroud, sort of Gloucestershire part of the Cotswolds. So it should be a really nice drive out really. Again, we're going to stop off, do a few stop-offs on the way, and hope there's some great roads, and again some great company. Again, it's much more just about driving around the Cotswolds. Again, it's about spending time with friends really, and we'll stop off, we'll have some teas, coffees, probably end up going to a pub somewhere for a lovely lunch as well. The next event I want to talk about is the Mercedes-Benz Club's Peaks Run. Now this is something that we do up in the Peak District. Again, normally it's very much the same as the Cotswolds one I just talked about. We'll start off at a certain point, and then we'll normally go out for a drive across the Peak District, stopping off a couple of places, and then ending at a nice country pub for some nice lunch. Again, very much the same as the Cotswold I've just spoken about. And then the final show I'm going to talk about is really the sort of season finale of the car show season for me, which is the NEC Classic Car Show. And last year I couldn't go to this because I was away at the time. So again, it's been about sort of a couple of years since I've last been, so I'm sort of itching to get back there. So obviously, if you haven't been to the NEC Car Show, it is absolutely huge. One of the biggest car shows I think in the country. I don't know if it's the biggest. I think it's the biggest indoor one I think they like to boast. Again, looking forward to that, and it's always a fantastic way to end the season. Normally in November you're starting to get a little bit fed up, but it gives you something to look forward to. When the nights are getting a bit darker and the weather's getting a little bit colder and all the leaves are falling off the tree, you're thinking you're in for winter. It gives something to look forward to. So that really brings us to the end of the video. There are some other shows that I'm going to be going to, and there's some that I've sort of question marked about going to. Hopefully I'm going to organise some more of the SLK events as well, because I'm SLK moderator captain, so I have to sort of organise some events for the show. And we've got two, one that I'm organising, which is the Cafe and Machine Meet, and then we've also got the SL and SLK Day. Obviously there's some more going through the year, hoping to do sort of at least 3 or 4 events, so hopefully there'll be a couple more, which obviously I'll be going on, probably talk about on the channel as we go along. That brings us to the end of this first episode of Tea and Talk. For this one, I haven't actually been talking about unless you drunk any of my tea. That'd probably be a good idea. Quick slurp before I enjoy that when I turn the camera off. The only thing I'm missing though is biscuits. But then tea, biscuits and talk doesn't quite have the same effect, so maybe we'll keep it simple, just do tea and talk from now on. Thank you as ever for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you pop a like on it. Also make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see more of me rambling on. Hopefully the SLK is going to be coming down to the house soon. It's currently being stored with my parents. I was going to go and get it this weekend and bring it down. Obviously this has happened to me. I haven't been able to get out and do it. So that might have to be pushed back to next weekend. It's been a lovely weekend. I was actually looking forward to taking the SLK out and taking it for a drive and maybe do a bit of filming with it, but obviously it hasn't quite worked out. But I thought, right, we'll go and do something else and we'll talk about some car shows. So goodbye from me and goodbye from the Stevens Forward World Headquarters, and I will see you next time.